Alright, I'm live. Alright, give me a sec. I'm making my way to the platform. Oh, they're not ready, are they? You're not talking, so this is gonna be... Okay, whatever. I'm ready for whenever you're ready to do it. I'll just, like, do stuff. Alright, well, that's the only server that, or the only chat that I'm... Alright, whatever. I'm ready for sumo whenever you are, Chris. Gotcha, Chris. Alright, well, I hope this isn't out of sync or desync, because I've had a little bit of issues with it. Okay, well, there's Ock. Awesome. Okay, so we're gonna get the sumo underway pretty soon. If I were to guess Kowalski, he is asleep. But I'm not entirely sure. But I'm awake, so I'm doing it. Okay. So sumo real quick for lane choice. Alrighty. Second time's a charm, I guess. Alright, Penumbra wins the sumo. So they will get lane pick. I haven't had sounds on, that's awkward. Do I have that right? I do. Awesome. Alright, so this is the quarterfinals of the first annual Race for World Championship. This is being played on Sylvan Cliffs by Subatomic Panda. A little bit of mapmaker bias, but I might be a little familiar in that aspect. That's besides the point. They do have channels? Question mark. They do have channels? Question mark. Okay. No, they probably can't get into them. So quarterfinals on Sylvan Cliffs. Penumbra versus Rush. Rush got a bye through the group stages for finishing in top 4 in RMCT 5, along with California Girl. Yeah, separate might be just a little bit better. Along with California Girls, Penumbra had to make their way through the group stages, losing to Grand Waffles, so they got placed against the number 1 seed. And yeah, that's about it. So far we don't have Rush's full roster, which might be a bit of an issue for them. It feels pretty what's the word I'm looking for? Exciting. Yeah, that's a good word. Exciting to have qualified for the second annual Race World Championship. So I am honored to be a part of it for next year. But for the time being, on Penumbra's side, we have Subatomic Panda, Tuskington, Ski Trip, and Forehead. Or I'm gonna be calling him Orthus because he's Orthus. But his in-game name is Forehead. And then right now for Rush, we have Contranaut, Akarn, and Brunt Force, with Foldesi potentially being here within the next 5 minutes. We'll see. I don't know if Rush can pull off a 3v4. Obviously, during their times from RMCT5, depending on the 3 that they had on, they probably could have taken on 3v4s on certain maps. With this current roster that they have, I'm not quite sure how they'll fare. Merit Badge providing a lot of the PvP pressure for Rush, and with Ak in this newer role, I'm not quite sure if he can live up to that PvP pressure that Merit Badge was able to apply to kind of compensate for the 3v4. So I don't know if this roster would be able to pull off a 3v4, especially compared to the past, but we'll see if that ends up being a factor. So it looks like we're going to be waiting until 12:15 Eastern for Rush's fourth member to show up. Otherwise, we're going to be getting underway. Map being played on Sylvan Cliffs. I guess while we're waiting, I can give like a quick tour or something. I don't know. So we have resources at the start. Kind of different than what a lot of... Oh, never mind. Well, Desi's here, so we're probably going to be getting started fairly soon. It's kind of different than a lot of resources we've seen in recent maps. No TNT supplies inside of the actual resources. The closest TNT supplies are inside of First Wall. So resource denying is a bit more difficult. Definitely possible if you're able to get the PvP kills, but a lot more difficult, and not nearly as many resources in general on the map. 4 iron blocks, 2 diamond blocks, and a handful of ore, compared to a bit more that are on more recent maps. Looks like both teams are ready. I'm ready when you're ready, Chris. And looks like we're going to be getting underway. So both teams having 4 members, like I mentioned earlier. I'm just going to... Oh, alrighty. Well, they get that sorted out, I guess. For Rush, we have Foldesi, Brunt Force, Ak, and Contranaut. And for Penumbra, we have Subatomic Panda, Orthus, Ski Trip, and Tuskington. So let's see how this ends up. Yep. Looks like they're just going to restart. Alrighty. So problems with the game. We didn't get the match started, or the match stopped in time, so we just restarted before anything actually happened. I'm sorry, I'm not nearly as good of a streamer as the one and only MuckBuckBoz. I'm so sorry. So are both teams ready? No. Okay. And let's try this again. No pre-game interview. What kind of stream do you think this is? Jesus. Alright, 3, 2, 1, go. And we're actually out this time. Fuldesi getting a really quick grab on initial chest to get some bows to start shooting really quickly. Do I have my hotkey? I do. Awesome. Fuldesi getting the first kill on Tuskington to put Rush at an early PvP advantage. Contranaut going with some note blocks and some iron bars. Looks like he's trying to be as safe as possible when doing this, but I don't really think he needs to worry about this too much. Doesn't look like Penumbra is really all that much in a position to actually shoot at him. With Brunt Force and Fuldesi doing a really good job of getting kills, and just the rest of Rush in general shooting. The kill feed is literally just filled with Rush, who does have their bridge off, but it looks like Contranaut is going down inside of resources instead, getting shot at as soon as he enters. He has some spawn eggs, he has flint and steel, the knockback shovel. Looks like he's going to be trying to get some cheeky mob pushes, I guess, for lack of a better word. Gets the chest at the start. And tossing over some witches to be a nuisance for this first room. With one of them walking out of the world immediately. Alrighty. So Penumbra's still having trouble getting across this initial gap. 2 members from Rush are still at the spawn with the 4th member. I do have a compass. I'm not, okay. With the 4th member, Fuldesi heading to the enchanting tower. Potentially TNT supplies for a cannon to get rid of enchanting, but we'll see how that ends up going. Meanwhile, Penumbra still hasn't made any real attempt for resources or a bridge, for that matter, while Contranaut's already collected his first iron block, trying to be as safe as possible, blocking up. Fuldesi teleporting via Ender Pearl. Just to the top of the tower. To not worry about having to climb up, I guess? Not really. Oh, never mind. Did he grab the TNT supplies? Yeah. He probably got a lot of stuff from down there, and then just Ender Pearled back up because that's... or maybe not. I don't know what exactly he did there. But he's up at the top of the tower for cannon for the enchanting. First shot is gonna pop the chest, actually. The entities still remain, so he's probably gonna fire another shot just to be sure. And there's the second shot. Still didn't get the entities though. Gonna fire again just to make sure. A little bit of a waste, some wasted TNT, and actually getting the entities that time. So enchanting is gone for Penumbra. They're gonna have to craft their own enchanting table if they want some. Meanwhile, Contranaut inside of resources is in full iron. Doesn't have an iron pickaxe yet. Probably would be a decent idea to craft sometime soon. Just for easy digging and to actually get the diamonds. Meanwhile, Ski Trip has made his way down into resources as well. Looks like the mobs weren't too big of an issue for him. So I guess I see what he was trying to do, but not really too useful. Ski Trip's a little far behind from Contranaut. Still, I think he's just now getting a stone pick. Yeah, he's just now crafting his stone pick, so he's gonna be a little slow down. Meanwhile, Ak has made his way inside of resources as well for some more PvP pressure to try and slow down Ski Trip as much as possible, getting 2 quick pot shots on him. Taking him to half health, so a bit more difficult getting the iron for Penumbra compared to Rush. Meanwhile, Brunt Force has made his way down the rest of the lane as well. Some sort of explosion, flame bow, something. Foldesi taken out by Tuskington. Some sort of cannon attempt. All the TNT supplies and everything he had is right here. So if Tuskington could, or just Russian Penumbra in general, could lock down Foldesi from getting his stuff. We have Orthus and Tuskington here right now to try and stop him. It's definitely possible, especially with how cramped this map is, and with the shorter lanes. It's he could potentially lock him out of his stuff, or at least some of his stuff. Looks like that's not going to be the case, however, as he's going to get everything untouched. And meanwhile, Front Force just about in the last room, waiting to regen a little bit before he makes his next push, with Tuskington aimed right at him. So we'll see how much difficulty he has there. Meanwhile, Foldesi taking the time to enchant himself some power bows, or at least one. So just needs to get 4 shots on Tuskington, and he's gotten 3 of those. Tuskington at 3 hearts, so Brun's gonna be free to just make an attempt at these resources. Meanwhile, Seven Panda is already here, already collected everything, and already has everything from the chests and whatnot. He just has to make his way out. He also grabbed the gold armor from over here. I don't think that was anything intentional. Having a little trouble getting out this time. Took a ton of fall damage that one time. He's down to 2 hearts. So he's gonna have to regen a little, or use the golden apples that he has. Probably not the best idea. No, he doesn't have golden apples. What am I thinking? Yeah, the explosions are creepers down at this bottom area. Front Force is going to having some troubles with some cave spiders. He's at half a heart. So it's gonna have to be a little careful with the mobs that spawn in here, and with some PvP pressure. It doesn't look like there's gonna be anyone shooting at him though, so he is gonna be able to block up and regen, or just regen in general. Sitting out in the open. He is at half a heart though, so he's gonna have to be really careful. Seven Panda is not gonna be too much of an issue, and Tuskington and Orthus don't seem to really notice him down here, so he should be good to go for the time being. Meanwhile, Ak has made his way down the lane. He's left his post at resources to help out over here. And meanwhile, still a resource battle. Conjunant has collected the diamonds for Rush. Ski Trip's in full iron right now, taking a little bit of a beating, but not too much. And he's going to be in the diamond room pretty quickly. And it looks like Conjunant is going to be heading down into the potion room as well. So potions can be really useful if used correctly, especially for the PvE and or PvP wolves. And Ski Trip taking the time to shoot at him. You should probably just do what he just did and go straight for the diamonds. Conjunant is stopping to shoot at him. Meanwhile, some cannons coming up top from Foldesi, aimed at the diamond room. Able to get a little bit of ore and the 1 diamond block. So that's a lot of resources taken out for Penumbra. Ski Trip able to get that 1 diamond block, and there's still a tiny bit of ore remaining if he decides to go for it. But that is a really big resource disadvantage, and Foldesi taking out Ski Trip as well, so all the resources he had on him susceptible to a quick cannon by Foldesi, which he's going to be building right away. And I don't think it's going to be possible for Ski Trip to make it back to his supplies in time. And cannon going off by Foldesi. Takes out the cover that Ski Trip made and a little bit of the entities, but Foldesi's going to fire it a second time and get rid of all of the entities. So all the time spent by Penumbra and First Resources is for naught. They have nothing to show for this area. There's still the potion supplies. There's still the gold box if they're able to get another iron pick. But this area is empty for Penumbra. Really good kill by Foldesi. And some nice cannoning to get rid of the supplies. Meanwhile, Conchanaut has Ender Pearled. Yeah, it looks like just out of resources. And is making his way down the lane. Night has fallen, so we'll most likely be seeing some beds set. We've already seen Orthus set his bed. And potentially more for the rest of the teams. He's having some trouble with a baby scout spy zombie. That's what that is. Meanwhile, the rest of 3 of Penumbra's members are just grouped up here right before the tower. Subatomic Panda did make his way out with resources, so they have a little bit of gear, but losing those first resources is definitely going to hurt in the long run. Especially with losing the enchanting supplies, it might not be possible for Penumbra to get enchanting period now. They'd have to. They can get enchanting, but they're gonna have to run a wool to get it. Third wool does have the diamond block inside of it to whenever you complete that, so they'd have to run that. Otherwise, I don't think there might be some leftover diamond ore or diamonds from Subatomic Panda, but it doesn't seem like it. So, not too many diamonds on Penumbra's part aside from Subatomic Panda's armor. Meanwhile, it looks like there's going to be an attempt on the second wall by Subatomic Panda. No one really paying attention for the time being. All 4 members of Rush are here, but Ox busy shooting at the surface. But it doesn't look like Sub made the attempt. He went down and then just went right back up. So he might have grabbed something that I didn't notice. I don't really know what he's doing. But what I see being taken out by a skeleton without setting his bed, it looks like. So he's going to have to make the trek all the way back from spawn. Probably one of the better times you're going to have to run second wool for Penumbra's part. Only 3 members, one of their PvPers being taken out for the time being. And they're distracting their other PvPers. So now would be a fairly decent time to take it on. They don't really have the supplies completely to take it. So, Sub does have a health potion and a speed potion and a water bucket, but the rest of the potion supplies would definitely help, especially against power bows that Rush have. Meanwhile, Foldesi has made his way back to his supplies. Rush setting up inside of this entrance to second wall. So pretty interesting spot. Blocked off by bedrock, so not going to be able to be cannoned. And pretty good setup for Rush for the time being, or for the rest of the match. All of their supplies are over here. Enchanting table, bed, everything they really need. Meanwhile, Sub's making his attempt right now, and I don't think he's being noticed. Yeah, he's running it right now, and no one from Rush just seems to notice, for the time being at least. So he's making a run for it. I don't know if Rush is planning on a second lockdown, but if they are, this could be really bad for them. Ock does notice him, but not before he's finished almost half the wool. Taking a ton of damage. He's almost dead, and he gets taken out by Ock, and that's all of Penumbra's armor. And a lot of it went out of the lane. So, really key kill by Rush right there. And that's really going to hurt Penumbra in the long run. Because right now, there is not much armor. Tuskington is in almost broken leather, albeit protection. What's the rest of this team in? Sub's naked because he just died. I'm gonna have to look around for their 4th member. He's probably running a wool, maybe? I don't know. But Tuskington's in the leather. Orthus is in gold. So that's the extent of their armor, and Rush is gonna have some power bows. And some cannons on their side. Full SC cannoning where Subatomic Panda died to make sure that he gets rid of everything. And really rough for Penumbra. Meanwhile, looks like Ski Trip is running first wall. And again, not much armor for Penumbra's side. A little bit of iron, projectile protection leather, and that is it. Having to mine for some blocks just to take this wall on. He's made an initial push into that first area, but not much progress for the time being. And meanwhile, we're going to have Contranaut making his run on second wall, and he's going to go by, for the most part, uncontested. Subatomic Panda does have iron armor right now, but this cannon coming in from Full SC putting some hurt on them. Able to expose the roof of their base. Not too many supplies. The TNT is definitely big. The Ender Pearl is potentially big. The Efficiency Shovel is pretty big. And the Lapis is pretty big. But for the most part, not too many supplies. Aside from their bed. So, probably want to secure that. But for the meantime, Contranaut has a free run on second wall because there is no PvP pressure coming from Penumbra for the time being. Another shot from Full SC's cannon does take out Penumbra's bed, so they need to be careful not to die before they replace that and re-sleep. Meanwhile, sometime Panda went back. He might not know that the bed's dead. The bed's gone. Tuskington being taken out by Ock. And Orthus is just about dead at half a heart. So, really rough PvP-wise for Penumbra. Meanwhile, Contranaut's just about in the wall. Doesn't have fire resistance, so he's going to have to be a little careful with the lava in this last section. But with no PvP pressure, you should be able to get this one extremely easily. The bed's not gone. The bed itself is still there, but their spawn is not. So, Orthus and Tuskington were both taken out. Their bed is not set. Their spawn isn't set, so they're spawning at the start of the map and having to run all the way back. So, yes, the bed is not gone, but their spawn, the important part, is gone. Meanwhile, it looks like Subatomic Panda was taken out as well. No, he hasn't. Okay. But a lot of armor right here for Penumbra, and it looks like someone's taken a position at the start of the map. Ock, having successfully realizing that Penumbra does not have a bed, they're opting for the spawn lockdown strat, or not. Okay. Or not. It can just be proven wrong. Alright, never mind. But Penumbra has made their way back to second wall. A little late as Contranaut is making his way out. Still has a little ways to go before he's completely out, but for the most part, he is extremely safe. And at the very least, a forward safety for their cyan wall. And instead of actually running the wall out, opting to try and shoot for the time being, maybe. I don't know. So with that bed gone, they're gonna have to wait another night to actually set their beds again, unless they set it in the exact spot that it was before, which it might still spawn them, but I don't think they're going to be able to get that exact same spot, and I don't even think they realize that the entity is still here. Yeah. So it looks like Contranaut has made his way out. Never mind, he fell out. Oh, he probably passed around somewhere. What is going on? Yeah, it looks like he passed around right over here. So getting the wall completely safe right at his bed, so he's able to get his stuff back extremely easily, and that is one wall secure for Rush. Yeah, Ski Trip. Ski Trip in first wall, I haven't seen any notifications. Yeah, Ski Trip has not made any trackable progress inside of first wall, flipping any of the levers. Meanwhile, I'm assuming this is Brunt Force. Yep, he is inside of the wall with him, and I think he's just finished the wall. No, he flipped the lever multiple times. Never mind. So, a little bit more progress on Ski Trip's part, and on Brunt Force's part compared to Ski Trip, especially with Ski Trip being taken out by Ock. Right over here. I don't know if they're going to be able to get a cannon over back here to blow up his entities. If they can, that'd be pretty... I feel like that'd be the nail on the coffin. And for Penumbra, I don't think they'd have any supplies to take on Rush. They could smelt iron. They could maybe mine the diamonds for the enchanting, but I feel like getting rid of ski stuff, or at least just one more member of Penumbra's stuff in general, that would be the final nail in the coffin. Meanwhile, Subatomic Pen making a trek on third wall, almost getting knocked out by a zombie. He's cleared out the first two areas, or first two turns for the time being. He hasn't taken on any of the spawners, so they still have free reign to spawn, which for the most part is the annoying part of the wall. And he's taking a ton of shots and a ton of damage right now. He's at 2 hearts, 3 hearts. He's gonna have to be careful. Probably not in as much armor as he expected to be in for this whole run. So he's gonna have to be a little more careful with this compared to how he probably would have run it before. And meanwhile, Conchanaut has joined him. So, dueling runs of third and dueling runs of second. We'll see how this ends up going. And meanwhile, looks like Penumbra has just decided to not worry about second for the time being. Meanwhile, Brunt Force hasn't made too much progress from that first lever, taking it fairly slow, but seems to be pretty steady. He's at half health for the time being, but looks like he's taking it about as safe as he can. Looks like Skeleton decided to preserve Ski Trip's armor, but he's gonna have to hurry to get back to the rest of his supplies, and they're gonna have to do it with Ock shooting at them from spawn. So, not sure if he's gonna be able to do this in time. Meanwhile, Conchanaut's attempt on third wall seems to be entirely centered around bridging it. Now, it's kind of a risky strat if you're not careful. If while you're bridging, you're not taking out anything that spawns below you. So, if you get shot down, you're going to have a bunch of mobs to deal with, as we can see. Below Conchanaut right now, a ton of skeletons, a ton of creepers, a ton of silverfish. He does have the full enchanted diamond, so he could survive. He just has to worry about getting knocked out of the world. Meanwhile, he's just making a quick blitz through this. He's almost at the vertical section for the time being. And yeah, pretty quick run of this initial part. Running it, I feel like more of a PvP wall than a PvE wall. Oh, there he goes. He got shot down. Looks like he is against the wall and able to protect himself from getting knocked out. He's still at full health, so he doesn't have to worry about dying unless he takes like a full-on explosion from one of those creepers, which I highly doubt. But just has a vertical section left, and then he has to make it back across. Another one of the things for not clearing out PvE wall. It's not a safe trek back. You still have to make your way past all the mobs and not getting knocked out. So he has to be careful of that whenever the time comes for him to run out with the wall, or just pass it around. Alright. Or just passing around works as well. Anyway. let's take a look at Brunt Force's progress. Looks like he was shot by a skeleton and fought a world. I'm guessing his armor is still here though. So a little bit of a setback on Brunt Force's part, but he does have 2 of the 3 levers flipped. Just has to take the 3rd one down, and that's pretty much first wall for Rush. Meanwhile, back in 3rd wall, Conchanaut has made it up a level or 2, and is still at pretty high health. He has the golden apples on him if he needs them, but for the time being, he's pretty safe. Stopping to take some pot shots on Subatomic Panda, who's opted for the same route as Conchanaut. Having to back off a little bit. He lost a chest plate somewhere along the way, and doesn't want to get killed too quickly by the power bell. Almost getting knocked out of the world by a silverfish though. Or just mobs in general. He's at 3 hearts. He's at half a heart. He's gonna have to block off and regen before he can make another attempt on the wool. Well, back to Ski Trip and his attempt. It looks like he's back in the wool. It looks like he hasn't grabbed his entities. So there were a lot of supplies on him whenever he died. There's still a decent amount right here. The TNT's still here. So I think he might have gotten to them. He just didn't grab the TNT. He also doesn't have armor. He has a little bit of leather, but against power bows, it's not really going to do much. So his attempt on this bull is going to be incredibly rough, especially with Ox shooting at him and Brunt Force in the wool with him as well. Albeit he's not in the wool right now, but he's also trying to make an attempt on it. Trying to regain his footing in this wool. Just has that last lever that he has to flip, but still a decent amount of mobs. His entities are still here, so it's just a matter of getting to those safely, and he should be geared up again to take this one on. Back inside the 3rd wall, looks like this is mostly cleared out for Conchanaut. There's just a single cave spawner that's left that hasn't been neutralized. So this is the vertical section pretty much cleared for Rush. Could use a dispenser to pass it around, skip having to go back through the wall. Could just run it out anyway and not care. Either strategy is viable. Either way, that's the 2nd wool touch for Rush. And only the 1st wool still only 1 wool that's secure, but 2 wool touches. Alrighty. That just happened. Brunt Force made it back to his armor, it looks like. Heading back a little bit. There is a bed here. I don't know if he tried to set a spawn. I don't know if he's going to try and set a spawn. But there is a bed. His armor is just about broken though, so he's not going to have too much to take on the rest of this wool for now. For the near future, actually. Especially with all the mobs that have piled up. He's pretty much going to be taking on this last part naked. Progress right now, Penumbra has very little progress on all the wools. I don't think there's any levers flipped inside of first. Oh, no. 1 lever flipped inside of first for Rush. And a small attempt at the first half of 2nd that got neutralized immediately. And as for 3rd wool, Penumbra has the first 3rd quarter cleared out, kind of. And other than that, that's all of Penumbra's progress. Rush has 2nd secured. Conchanaut is just about secure with 3rd wool. And Brunt Force is having a little bit of trouble with 1st wool. Died a couple times, had a little trouble getting back to his armor. But looks like he has cleared this last part out. And that's all 3 levers flipped for Rush. Just has to make it to the wool box, and that's all 3 wool touches for Rush. Never mind. Creeper blowing up the lever, so I'm just gonna have to re-flip it to actually get the wool. And it's actually a good thing. Oh, we're getting taken out by Ski Trip. Something that I don't know if he realizes, the lever's still here. So he's either A, gonna have to get to the lever before it respawns, so replace it and re-flip it, or bring his own lever, which he might have had the wood for a lever. Yeah, alright, he had the wooden cobble for a lever, so he'd have to craft his own, so that's not too big of a deal. Alrighty, so Ski Chip's still in first wool, now naked. There might still be a skeleton floating around here with his armor. No, it doesn't look like it. Alright, well, Ski Trip taking on this wool naked. Somewhat difficult just taking it on the PvE itself, but adding on at least 1 member of Rush, if not 2, shooting at him while he's doing it. It's gonna be a challenge getting this wool. Not to mention the other 2 wools that they don't really have much progress on, so... Let's take a look at subs progress back inside a 3rd wool. Still hasn't made too much progress past that initial lighting up in terms of just clearing this out. He cleared out the top section, the spawners whenever he bridged across. It looks like he's going to the bottom, taking out the silver spawners, taking out the mobs that have spawned, but gonna be a little bit difficult if Conchonaut stays here to try and lock him down. If not, then he just is worried about the PvE, but it looks like that's what he's going to do, try and sit here and lock down sub. For the most part, this initial section leading up to the vertical part is cleared out. So, I'd say that's about half the wool done. So I'm getting pestered by a silverfish. But just doesn't take out the vertical section. It can definitely be done without much armor. You can pillar through it if you choose to and are brave enough. No, Rush just needs first. Yeah, you just corrected yourself. Alright. Penumbra has no resources. Rush just needs first. And Penumbra needs everything. So, an uphill battle for Rush. Meanwhile, someone just flipped a lever. Looks like Ski Trip has gotten the 2nd lever. Yeah, he's gotten 2 levers, 1 more remaining. And watering that 1 lever, I think it's probably technically possible to get a piece of TNT in there. I feel like it'd be a bit difficult, but potentially possible, maybe. I don't know. But either way, it doesn't look like Rush has really too much interest in locking down with cannons inside the wool. They're really only focused on just completing this wool and finishing the map. So, where do we have players for the time being? Tuskington looks to be just trying to PvP and give some sort of pressure and try and take the pressure off of their wool runners. Ski Trip is inside of first wool. At least he was. Yeah, Ski Trip's inside of first wool. Or this is providing PvP pressure from inside of first wool, or at the entrance of first wool, and actually doing a decent job of just kind of locking down Rock Force. He has reappeared with a lot more supplies, a bunch of TNT, enchanted iron with some diamond boots, and just actual supplies to take the wool on. Might be regenning for now, I guess, but gonna be a little just a little more difficult for Orthus to try and lock him down compared to whenever he was running it with the projectile armor. And Ski Chip blown up by full Desi. making their run on first wall even harder, and taking out one of the levers that they've flipped as well. So they're now down to only one lever flipped for the time being. It is at least watered, so that one is safe. But getting the other two levers is gonna be a little more difficult. Meanwhile, back at third wall, looks like Contronaut has just decided to stay here and try and lock down Sabotage Panda. He has made a cannon to open this up so he can shoot at him through the vertical part, but it looks like Sub is doing alright for the time being. He's taking a bit of damage, but he's regenning it off. It's mostly lit up. There's still this last section that's still kind of precarious with all the cave spiders that are still there. But 2-3 spawners still remaining, and that should be the first wall touch from Penumbra fairly soon. We might see a cannon kill, we might see just a regular kill, we might see a mob kill, but if Sub can definitely get this with the PvP pressure that's being applied right now. Not too much, you can still kind of tunnel it if you need to. Or a creeper can just land on you and do all the work for you. And Counternaut's gonna follow that up immediately with a cannon to try and get rid of all the entities. Almost taking out the wool box, the wool chest. But Counternaut missing the entities. They're still here if Sub can get to them. The main question being, can Sub get to them? Because he has to take out the mobs at the bottom, he has to make his way all the way back up, and we'll see if he's able to do this in time. Meanwhile, Brute Force, did he flip the final lever? He had to flip the final lever. He flipped the final lever already. Just has to make it to the wall box. It's open for him to take, but it looks like he's a little more interested in PvPing right now. Should probably just be going to get the wool. Someone should be going to get the wool. Yeah, have your PvPers. They're doing a fine job for the time being. Just go to the wool box and get the wool. Alrighty. Still 2 members inside of first wall for Penumbra. Ortho's trying to provide some PvP pressure and take it off of Ski Trip. Very supplyless. A bow, torches, and a wood pick, and that's about it. Gonna be actually not all that difficult. If he can light up the spawners before they can spawn mobs, then you won't really have to worry about taking them out too much, and it's just a quick way away from the lever. Not able to light up the cave spider spawner, but he's just about made it to the lever. A little bit of creeper issues and PvP issues with Ock taking him out. So close to that next lever, but so very, very far. Meanwhile, Brute Force has made his way almost to the wool box, and he's made it. So that's the third wool touch for Rush. Just about time for victory run. He just has to make his way out of not only the wool, but the giant chasm as well. What we've seen from Rush a ton throughout this thing is just underpearling out of here. Doesn't look like Brute Force has an underpearl to do that, so he's gonna have to pillar his way out. But either way, Rush has such a strong hold on this map that it's gonna be incredibly difficult for Sub Penumbra to pull this one through. Looks like Contranaut's given up on his lockdown spot. This is Economic Panda can just make players way up. He cleared out most of it. Just the 1 or 2 spawners at the very top. Handful of mobs still remaining from that initial push, but it's pretty much all lit up. He can just pillar his way up and grab the wool. It'll be in time for the first wool touch, but they still don't have any progress or anyone doing anything currently to get second wool, and the rest of his team is focused on first wool, and Rush is just about to victory run. Contranaut's made his way to the victory monument. 2 of the wools are already placed, just waiting for Front Force to make his way out of the chasm, and then this should be GG. The tunnel, all of dug down already, so he just has to ladder his way up. Just about at the victory monument, and a pretty convincing win for Rush on this one. Front just making sure he can be as safe as possible. Awk with the dirt. Ah! He almost placed it correctly. Yeah! Yeah! Yeah, the outlines were a new feature added in 1.8 with the spectator mode, so that I've been using that so much whenever I've been streaming, and it's been really useful. So one of the things that I really like about 1.8. There's a paste HTML in chat, and pretty convincing win for Rush. They are going to be moving on to the semifinals, which is going to be played on Song of the South. They are going to be facing the winner of USNZ versus Crafts Gang. I don't know how that's going with scheduling and how that's working out scheduling wise, but they're going to be playing the winner of that match on Song of the South next weekend, I'm guessing, as well. So that is that. Are we doing interviews? Maybe, I don't know. The vote of confidence. Awesome. So that's about it for this match. I'm going to say it now, but I'm going to end up saying it again. I'm going to be saying it again at the end of the stream anyway, but there's going to be another match in about 3 hours. It's going to be Grand Waffles versus
CH4N
BPF.
Move to Rush.
So that is going to be a match. And then the winner of that is going to be facing California Girls as well. So semifinals about halfway done, actually.
Yo.
At least halfway. So we have Front Force at least from Rush, and I think Chris is getting someone from Penumbra, maybe. I don't know.
It looks like subs in the channel. Oh no, he's not.
No, not for the time being.
Okay. So ZZ, how do you think the match went?
It was a pretty convincing win for Ash.
Anything you'd do differently?
Yes. In terms of running, first of all, yes, there would be things, but
no, I mean from your perspective, like, would you change anything for how you played?
Oh, my match?
Yeah.
I'd like to play 4v4. That would have been something I would have changed.
I didn't get to watch it, unfortunately. Did you guys play 3v3 or 4v3?
It was 3v3.
Oh, nice. That's at least nice. Something. That's okay.
Yeah, an even match.
Good sportsmanship.
No, it wasn't good sportsmanship. They only had 3 members.
Oh.
But that's
What
not
was
what
your
this
role
stream.
in that game? What'd you
Running
get to
the
do?
wolves.
All the wolves? Nice.
No, I didn't run second. But that's not what this stream is about. This is about your match.
Oh, I thought I was interviewing you. Okay.
No, okay. A little bit of me. Okay, whatever. So we have Brunt Force from Rush and Subatomic Panda from Penumbra.
Hey, Sub. Good game.
Howdy. Good game, Brent.
So
Did they nominate their worst player too? Is that why you're here?
Oh.
'Cause I'm pretty sure that's why Rush put me over here.
That's hilarious. I don't know. I feel like the game pretty much it was kind of over for us as soon as Ak got me in second wool. Because once I got that would have been at least second wool done. And third wool, I wasn't really that far off at all. That would have been a thing.
Were Ben's cannons actually helpful, like for stopping you in third?
In third? No.
Yeah, I don't
like
think
doing
cannoning the
anything.
vertical does anything either.
It's usually better if you have a couple people shooting, but since it was only him, he couldn't really cannon and shoot at the same time. It wasn't really that
Right.
effective.
Let's be serious. He can't do either of those at any time.
I don't know. I think you can pull it off. You can dedicate the resources to it.
Yeah? Yeah, I'd like to see that strat. That would be an interesting one.
So,
I'm glad you guys got players. Like, we developed a 3v3 strat in case because we heard Crackers was out, so we were worried you guys wouldn't be able to field 4. So we figured out a 3v3 strat to do.
literally half the team left, just for various reasons. Maskins, because he just never really was into Race for Wool anyway, so he just pieced out. BZ, because he's like really salty at me, and I heard what happened in the Twitch chat, and I don't have any hard feelings for him or anything. It's just whatever.
Oh, was he talking shit in the Twitch chat?
Yeah, and
Nice.
who else? Crackers, because his dad wants him to like do something with his life, so no Minecraft.
Fair enough.
And who else? Yeah. Oh, the last guy, Thin Man and White Male. He was out because he was like BZ's friend, and he wasn't really into it anyway. So when BZ left, he was just like, well, I've got no reason to stay.
Fair enough.
So yeah, roster repairs.
So you
Got
turned
an
into
old
Euro
PP
PP.
man. Yeah.
Nice.
I don't know. I feel like we still put up a good fight, even though
Oh
we
yeah.
just lost.
Yeah,
pretty
definitely.
early.
Yeah, like at no point in the game could we have just started throwing and still won. Although arguably I threw pretty hard, so maybe there were still mistakes you guys made. Yeah, Ski was a tricky little guy.
He was plugging away at first for a while.
Yeah, but like, yeah, he was picking his moments to shoot at me really well. He managed to shoot me off some really bad times.
Yep.
And then, yeah, it seemed like we had a good PvP advantage, which might have been the deciding factor in the game.
Yeah. I was really surprised you guys weren't sending Ben to second resources and having him like run second immediately after, like doing what my role basically was. You guys chose to send him to first resources and stuff.
The strat really evolved over time. Like, it started with ignoring first resources and trying to rush second, because second is quite a strong lockdown if you can set it up and stop their rush. But then we realized first resources are very powerful, especially like the potions and the diamonds and everything. And so our strat just kept moving more and more towards an emphasis on first resources until we got to the one that we use today.
We were hoping to like a much faster game. Like we wouldn't put too much effort into getting first resources, even though we kind of needed them for the strat. It wasn't like something we wanted to dedicate all of our time to. It was generally get Second wool ran pretty early, and then run third wool and lock third down. But second was kind of like our little intermediate lockdown, just while we're waiting for third to be set up.
Oh man, I really don't think third is the best lockdown. I really think second is by far the best, and first is pretty good, but not great. Like if you can in the levers.
Yeah.
I really don't think third
can get some
would have been that successful.
You can get some pretty insane angles in third. Like if you're in one opening and then like the guy that you're shooting is at the previous opening, then you can get like some wicked shots in on them. Also, if you can cannon their bridges, then it also helps a little bit.
Yeah, I guess because people do those sketchy bridges over the top of the wall. Maybe you can mess them up that way. If they're not used to just clearing out the dungeon and running it from on the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
Although Ben was in really good armor, I think he was in like enchanted diamond, so it probably would have been
he was
pretty tough to kill.
We realized that if somebody's, we knew we couldn't lock Ben down at second because that's like his hometown. Like you can't screw with that. So we just decided third is better for Ben. Or better for us to lock him down in.
If you could guess that was Ben was going to run third, I didn't want him to run third, but he did okay, I guess. Because in his scrims, he was having a hard time with it. Like he pain looped it basically every scrim.
Yeah.
Disappointed that I didn't see that this game.
Yeah, I know. You saw a different person pain loop instead.
Yeah, and also Brent, I just wanted to ask, like, with 1.8 mobs, how exactly did you die with your advice of don't get hit? Did you just not follow your own advice, or?
No, I hit myself was the problem. There was a
gotcha.
loophole in my PvE rule, is hit yourself. So I ran myself into the mobs trying to hit them, but that's not how it works.
Gotcha. The whole hit and run mentality.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah, it's certainly a lot of... 3 of those deaths were really bad, and then 2 of them was good play on Ski's part to hit me at the perfect time. I want to make sure he gets credit, because he did a pretty good job with very low armor to make progress in that wool and stop me. And then Tusk as well was getting some good shots from the surface, but he was not in good armor, so when Ock came, he couldn't keep doing it.
The PvP was kind of miserable the first like 2 minutes of the game.
Yeah, but like to your credit,
like,
a lot of teams fold up when they get killed a lot at the start. They get flustered and the whole game plan seems to get thrown out and they start to improvise badly, but you guys didn't. You guys kept the game competitive the whole time.
It was pretty good that they killed you at that one point and I was able to get that little bridge off. We were good.
Yeah, that could have been a turning point if, well, you needed a few more of those kills, but that was a big thing in your favor, certainly. Because I had pretty good armor that I lost into the void that way. Excellent for you guys.
Good game. I'm pretty happy with how that went. All things considered, with like all of the hardship that's happened.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, swapping out half your roster like a couple weeks before the game is not easy.
Yep.
Back to map making sub.
Yeah, I got a lot of things to do with my maps.
I think Sylvan Cliffs
is on the horizon.
Nice, that's awesome. Yeah, I don't think you need to do too much to Sylvan Cliffs. I think all the teams really enjoyed it and it played really well.
Yep.
So good job on that too.
Thanks.
So ZZ.
I've just been sitting here listening to you guys talk about stuff that I didn't notice, like the minute things that I didn't really notice throughout the match.
And Brunt, MC, and guest.
Yeah. I'll just run this show, thank you.
So I
Do you
guess
have any May things that you wanted to talk about?
I guess my little thing that I noticed, it seemed like the main turning points for the match were Rush getting their enchanting and getting rid of Penumbra's enchanting really quickly, and then Penumbra losing both of their main sets of armor and resources in general fairly close together at the start, with Sub losing it at in the second run, and Ski getting killed by Fold and set of resources. I'm just wondering how much, if that was planned on your part on Rush, or if like that was just a reaction sort of thing. Oh, we killed them, let's get rid of their armor, and you did that. And
yeah, I'd say so. We played a lot of scrims. I didn't play too many scrims, but Rush played quite a few scrims against BPF in particular, and the thing holding us in a lot of those scrims was Fold getting a cannon kill and then cannoning their armor, and it seemed like he would get a few of those like every single match. So that was not really a surprise when we saw it, but it's so helpful when that happens. So yeah, I would say usually Fold was our MVP, even though he wasn't like a wall runner or anything, just because he would just be chipping away at the other team's resources steadily throughout a match by getting rid of supplies and stuff like that. Really strong play.
Yeah, and then on Sub's end, what was your main reaction whenever you guys ended up losing those two sets? They're the two main sources of resources. What was your, like, I guess, knee-jerk reaction of what to do next? We don't have resources. What do we do to actually win this match? And obviously you weren't successful in winning the match, but how successful do you think you were in actually trying to achieve what you were doing to do what? This makes sense in my head.
Yeah, he's just not able to talk and mumble for some reason.
Gotcha.
He's typing in Minecraft chat. If you don't see it,
I can see it.
Hear me?
Oh, you're back, Sub.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yes.
Did you hear any of that question?
I did not. I'm sorry.
It was already ready to begin.
You
with.
lost
a hell of a
sets of
question.
armor. What did you do?
Basically,
When we
whenever you lost
lost our
armor, what was your reaction? What did you try to do?
It's easy. He gets
Okay,
it.
so what I tried to do was we had a little bit of extra resources from second resources still, because our team wasn't like armored up yet. So I was able to armor up in like half diamond, half gold, or half iron, half gold, and then I was going to run second wool, but then I realized that once my team was not able to cover me anymore, since our bed was blown up and they couldn't like reset their spawn or anything, I was not getting any cover to run second, and there were also like 3 guys shooting at the time. I just decided to go run third because, yeah, it seemed like the best thing to do.
Yeah, I think that was probably a good call as well.
And something that Kowalski kept pointing out in chat, technically your bed wasn't gone. The entity was still there. I just don't think any of you guys realized that it was still there, so you could still place it and set it.
True, but we would have to... Oh, was it nighttime when it got blown up?
It was nighttime when
it
it got
daytime?
blown up.
I can't remember.
It was nighttime when it got blown up. Yeah.
Ah, damn.
It was coming up to daytime, so
Yeah, you would have had to do it quickly, but at the time that it was blown up, it was night.
I did set another bed outside the house with like the 4 beds in it. So like my team could have set their spawns there. We just didn't have enough time. And yeah. Completely gave up PvP control.
Alright, that's all I have.
Alright. Good game, guys.
This would be
Good
where
game.
I'd summon Chris and see if there's anything he'd like to add, but he hasn't said anything, and I don't think he plans on saying anything.
he just said that he's gone to bed.
Oh,
Nice.
alright.
What time is it there?
It is 3:15 in the morning.
Yeah, fair play. Go to bed, Jack.
I'd love to, except as soon as I lie down, I guarantee you that I'll be puking up whatever.
Oh shit. Are you
Whatever
really
I ate
drunk
for
or really
breakfast
sick?
like 8 years ago. I'm very, very sick.
Oh shit.
I wish I was very, very drunk. Because then I could have been like, I brought it on myself.
That sucks.
But no agency in this matter.
Sorry to hear that, but thanks for stream. Were you streaming too, Jack?
No, he wasn't.
But
He was in chat.
I was watching the stream.
Okay.
basically, I was just sitting in there waiting for Ben to get shot down into the pile of skeletons, and
It never happened.
just started the PvE. And when it didn't happen, I felt like I've wasted like 40 minutes of my life.
I know that feeling. But thank you for streaming, ZZ.
No problem.
And maybe you know how to archive your stream, unlike some other people.
It's not like
you can
there.
watch.
It's not like there are like 20 or so previous Race 4 matches on my channel or anything.
I'm just saying, not everyone is as good at Twitch as you are and can archive their stream.
Not even that good of it, but thank you for the compliments. I appreciate it.
You are a very good streamer, ZZ.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm jumping aboard the compliment train.
All right, I need to go take like a little break because that was stressful.
Oh, okay, screw compliments. I'm just gonna deafen. So that was that match. Really strong showing from Rush. Not quite sure how a lot of us were thinking that Rush weren't gonna do as well as they probably ended up doing with not having Khmer Badge and Chris Chaman for this tournament, but it looks like they still showed up pretty strong and were ready to play and have made it into the semifinals. So 2 more matches still to be determined and happening. Grand Waffles versus BPF is going to be 2 hours and 45 minutes from now. That is confirmed. That's definitely happening. The final quarterfinal match is going to be Kraftskang versus USNZ. And that one had some scheduling mix-up, so I don't know when that's going to happen. But stay tuned. That should be determined sometime soon. Actually, I'm going to check real quick and see if that's actually been... no, it has not been rescheduled to my knowledge. So that's going to be... oh, wait, is it? No, it hasn't been rescheduled again. So hopefully that's going to be rescheduled fairly soon. Otherwise, there's still another match in 2 hours and 45 minutes or 4 p.m. EST. So, or EDT. Is it daylight saving? I don't know. Whatever. I don't know times. It's whatever. So thank you guys for watching, and stay tuned for later matches. So